Welcome to the Not Superheroes Cause Dads podcast. No, we can't fly. No, we can't shoot lasers or pick up giant buildings. But what we can do is help set the foundations for our families, be present for our kids, and combat generational cycles. On this podcast, we dive into everything dad related, from the struggles we deal with as fathers to what our favorite thing to barbecue is. Hello, I'm Sean Laurie. I hope you guys are having an amazing, blessed day. Like always, for me in Texas right now, it's warm. It's not too bad. I know some parts I think it's still cold and snowy, so I'm feeling for y'all. But before we jump into it, y'all, make sure y'all like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. You guys know I appreciate the feedback so much. I tell you guys this all the time because it's really important to me. Now, with that being said, man, this guy here, actually, I came across him from social media. I love what he's doing, and the impact he's making. For men and for us girl dads out there as well. But how are you doing today, Oscar?
What's up, Sean, man? Thanks for having me on. I'm doing great. I'm in Shreveport, Louisiana, so I was mowing the lawn today at 80 degrees, sweating. So
Yeah,
whoever's cold, sorry, come down
yeah,
to the south, I guess.
yeah, exactly, man, exactly. So what I like to do, I do like to do icebreakers. And so since you are in Louisiana, I have to ask, have you been to either a Saints game, a LSU game, or what would that be? Pelicans, I think. Is that the Pelicans in there? Or Pelicans game, I think. New Orleans Pelicans, I think. I don't remember. Whatever NBA team right now, I'm having a brain fart, y'all. They'll probably destroy me
I
on
didn't
that.
even know they
But
had an NBA team, brother.
I think, I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah. They do. Wait, is it yeah, it's Pelicans. Okay, I'm tripping.
Pelicans.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
all right.
Okay, well, I guess that one's out the question. So either LSU or the Saints game. Have you been to either one? And if you have, which one was, I guess, because I heard their fans are passionate. So which one is more intense?
Listen, the Louisiana people are probably gonna hate me. I've not been to either.
Okay.
Uh, I'm sure we'll get into it, but I just can't find the time to go do
Mm,
that.
yeah.
What I have been, the reason I said they may hate me is that I took my girls over to Texas. We went to go watch the Texas Rangers game,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and that's just I'm not a big baseball like
Yeah,
fanatic, but
yeah.
I like going to baseball parks. It's really cool. So
Mm,
we've done that, and then we've traveled the state a little bit here in Louisiana, mostly because of my daughter. One of my middle girl, she's a gymnast, and all the gymnast parents out there, you know what I'm talking about. It's
yeah,
expensive, but
yeah.
it gives you the chance to go see some things. So Louisiana, or excuse me, New Orleans, Lake Charles, like all these different areas. We've been able to travel a little bit, but when it comes to sports, that's my sports arena, brother. Gymnastics.
Okay. All right. Hey, no, I understand. It makes sense, especially a girl dad. Like I get
That's
it. I
right.
get it. So I guess then I should ask this instead. What? Because everyone claims their food is the best. So what in Louisiana? If I go to Louisiana, what is something I would have to try?
Oh man, I personally like gumbo because they have just
Okay.
a bunch of different types, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's me, dude. A
No.
bunch of people here like oh, crawfish.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not my thing, brother. I just
No.
no, no.
Not for you. You like
No.
just do the gumbo right now. Okay.
Yeah. I don't have many food aversions, but
Yeah.
when I watched the process of the crawfish boil, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't want that. So not my
That's
thing.
Man, that's funny, man. All right, well, shoot, we're definitely gonna dive into it, and he, like I mentioned earlier, guys, he does have a podcast, which I'm definitely gonna plug in at the end, or have him plug it in. Now with that being said, man, I want to ask you. I don't know if this is too deep of a question to start off, but we'll start off like this, man. Who is Oscar outside of being a husband, a soldier, and a father?
Oof. Uh, no one, I guess. I mean,
Mm,
my it's so weird to say the identity, right? My identity is
yeah.
is built around me figuring out how to be a dad, right? And
Mm,
figuring out how figuring out what my girls need from me. And when I say my girls, like that includes my wife,
yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's a partnership of 22 years, dude. And
That's
not only is it a long time, but it's enough time that for lack of better terms, and people might throw rocks at your show here, but sometimes the kids get in the way, quote unquote, of that relationship. So when I say trying to figure out what my girls need, she's included in that in a different way, obviously, than my daughters. But that's really who I am, man. I mean, if I had to like put anything out that is different, it's all gonna tie back to them. For example, I like to exercise. I like to be outside, and those things make me better for them because they give me kind of that mental clarity that I need to be able to come and show up for them. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? So,
Yeah.
so if I had to completely step out of that, it's like, well, I'm a sucker for pain in the gym,
Yeah.
and I like to be outside, go hiking, and again, sucker for pain for a good hike. Um, but ultimately, I need those things to be able to show up for them.
No, I like that, and the fact that, like you said, some people might not like that, but I actually agree because, um, excuse me, y'all know, me being a believer, it says, your spouse is supposed to come first, right? Not that you don't like love your kids or anything like that, but your kids, we're supposed to teach them, right? Prepare them for the real world, and then they're going to leave,
Yeah,
right? So then it's just you. So it'll just be you and your wife when your girls
that's right.
go off. So that makes perfectly sense, and that's why, like, I'll even tell my oldest, like, I feel like in today's society, some people are gonna be mad about this, I guess, but in today's society, it's backwards. Have a kid and maybe we'll get married, right?
Mm,
Where it's like, how about you get married, get to know the person, wait a few years. Because to me, I feel like it's easier to get married, and if it doesn't work out, hey, okay, we cut ties, then you have a kid, and regardless how it goes, now you're trying to figure it out,
yeah.
right? But in a marriage, you have to really be committed. Or at least you're supposed to,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and that's why I mean I'm vocal about it to my daughters, especially now they're older. So my
Yeah.
my 10-year old and my 14-year old, and even my 5-year old, she'll listen and she doesn't like the answer because she's 5, right? So,
Yeah, yeah, of
but I'll
course.
say I'm like, no, your mom comes first. Period.
Yeah.
Dot. Why? Because she has to choose me every day. I get to choose her every day. Like that could break real quick, right? Like I don't get to choose you two or you three. You're mine. I'm your dad forever and ever. Whether I do good or bad, I'm the dad, right? And when we're connected in that manner, but my wife, I have to figure out how ways to make sure she continues to choose me because I
Mm,
like being around her. She's my ride or die, so I got to
yeah.
make sure that that's there. And I remember the first time I said that to my daughters. My oldest was like, "I don't think you're supposed to say that," and I'm like, "Sure." Okay, but I said it, and it's true, and understand the reasons why, and so they understand it. They know that when it's bedtime and I start getting frustrated is because, hey, you know what? I told them, like, you guys need to go to bed. Now it's time for mommy and I to hang out and not be with you all and just give us time to talk, right?
Yeah.
And I was listening one time to Jordan Peterson. He was talking about the importance of having, and don't quote me on this because I can't remember the
Yeah.
exact thing. So I'm paraphrasing, but it was like, you're supposed to have at least 90 minutes, right? Like this, the data, I don't know what data he's talking about, but the data says that 90 minutes at a minimum must be appropriated to the relationship,
Mm,
right? In a week. And for me, I'm like, 90 minutes, dude. At first, I was, that seems crazy. 90 minutes? That's an hour and a half for the week? And then, you go through life, you're like, oh, it's kind of hard to find that 90 minutes, right? But it's so important, dude. Like it's so important to just even be able to talk about, hey, what's going on? What do you got on your plate? This is what I have on my plate.
yeah.
Um, and it sets everything up for the week and then for the months and then for the year. I mean, being military, those conversations I have to have with her. Hey, this is what's going on. I may be leaving, or we may be moving. Here's the options. This is the course of action that this looks like. This is the course of action that this looks like. If I can't have that time with her without the input of the girls, like it can start to really, as I mentioned, kind of create cracks in the relationship, and God willing, that's not what we're doing, right? And I
Yeah.
want to make sure to keep that relationship strong for my wife and I, but also for my daughters. I want them to see that strong relationship.
No, and that's dope. I love, that you said, and that's why, you and your wife have been able to rock for as long as you have. Because I look at it, man, like 19 years is like no joke, man. That's crazy. Or is it 22 years?
Married 22,
22,
19,
sorry, 19 years in the
active duty. Yeah,
military. But both is no joke, right?
they're
both,
interesting. I'll tell you that.
both takes a lot of work, right?
That's
So
right.
So I wanted to ask you, how did the deployment like impact your role, man, as a father, and as a husband, for sure, as a husband too.
Yeah. Anybody listening here that either is in the military, knows the military community, knows that, you know, the backbone of us is the families, and being married to someone who, man, like, is strong in all the facets that could be is so important, man. I mean, we were married for excuse me, 8.5 years prior to having our kid. So to your
Mm,
point earlier, it was really nice, given that we got married young, it was
yeah,
really nice to kind of grow together first, right?
yeah,
Like we still had a lot of growing. We still have a lot of growing to do.
yeah,
I
of
just keep
course.
saying that, but I'm in my 40s, so that maybe not. But we grow together, and then we have our kids, so we really know who each other is. Even with that, though, once my daughter got to us, like I just went into default provider dad mode. Like, and what I mean by that is like, oh well, even before my daughter got to us, it was for me, it was just like, oh, it's just gonna be another thing that I deal with, and I say thing lightly, obviously, but
Yeah,
just another part of the equation of life that we'll deal with it. It's no big deal, but it is a big deal, right? So we have our daughter in 2012. I deployed for like I was gone for like 8 months
oh wow,
at one point. So I missed my first daughter for a long time.
yeah,
And my wife she's the brunt. She's taking the brunt of everything, right? She's taking the
yeah,
brunt. So check this. She's taking the brunt of learning how to be a mom because we're both figuring that thing out.
yeah,
That's big. Being in a location without a family, right? I mean, without the support system that is normally known as your family, right? Like
yeah,
mom's not there, aunts aren't there, like those kinds of things where you can kind of rely on. And I'm gone doing my job, so she's worried about what's going on with that. I mean, all you just keep adding pages onto to that, and if you grab one piece of paper, it doesn't weigh much, but you put 500 pieces of paper together, it weighs a lot, right?
yeah,
And that's really what it looks like. It's all these pieces of paper stacked on top of each other, and every piece of paper has some issue that she has to deal with.
yeah,
So, aside from watching my daughter be born and my admiration growing tremendously for the woman that just gave birth to this human,
absolutely.
uh, and if you've never been in the room, I'm telling you, it will change your life. But the admiration, is through the roof, and then to continue that admiration and seeing her do everything that she needs to do so that I can do my job in a foreign land and doing whatever I'm doing, like it's huge, right? But it does absolutely hinder the relationship because you can't dad from far away. Like I don't. That's hard,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
And you almost can't husband from far away. Like yes, you have the connection of a phone, and at the time I think we just started doing like what was that called, Skype? I think we had the Skype
oh
thing.
yeah, 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 I remember
So
that.
we could get on the Skype every so often, but it was choppy and
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah,
dude, that's not a relationship keeper. Like
yeah,
that setup is not good
yeah,
for whether it's a parenting relationship or a romantic relationship, if you will.
yeah,
And so it definitely made a big impact. I like to believe that because of our roots as a couple before our kid, it really helped us get through those times.
yeah,
The biggest hurdle for me was then returning and getting into dad mode, right? And realizing like I am sucking at this. And I'm sucking so bad at this that I'm gonna just check out and go either even if I'm not physically at work, I'm just gonna go think about work. I'm just gonna
yeah,
check out. And not only was that not fair for the kid, but definitely not fair for my wife.
yeah, yeah. No, definitely, bro. Definitely. Like, so how, I guess in that season, because I'm thinking about in the military, like, well, one, that's dope. I feel like that you guys did take that time to really grow with one another and get to know each other. So, but normally they say in a marriage, right, the hardest time, you don't have to necessarily go into detail, but the hardest season, I guess, is like in the very beginning. But for you, was the hardest season when you was gone all the time? Because like you say, you was Skyping, or maybe her juggling, your firstborn, and you're being in and out, right? Because you're gone, you're here. Like, what was that hardest season like, and how were you able to, I guess, finally, how did it click for you, where you was like, okay, something has to change?
Yeah, yeah. I think they say the hardest season in a marriage is like year number, either the start of year number 2 or the start of year number 3, right? Like it's
Yes.
like the honeymoon stage finishes,
Yeah.
and then like you realize maybe I don't want to do this, or maybe I do want to do this, like, all these things.
Like now they're snoring a little too loud.
Yeah, yeah. It's nitpicking everything. Um, that's definitely hard. I think maybe because we're kind of removed from that time, right?
Yeah.
But the season of having a child was really hard because, again, as I mentioned, we're both figuring out how to be parents. I mean,
Yeah.
dude, like we both had that feeling at the hospital when they're like kicking you out, right? They're like, "Oh, here you go. Have a good day." And all they do is check your seat. Hey, let's make sure your seat's good. All right, cool.
Yeah.
How do I even take her out of this seat when I get home?
Exactly.
Like, so we were both. I remember her and I both looked at each other like, "Dude, like this is real. Like we got to go home." So I think that season was really hard, and it didn't help that my job didn't help that, right? And then I say my job in the sense that it was just a fact. My environment, the context of what was happening at the time didn't help that, right? The job.
Yeah.
But it's not the job's fault. The job is just the job, just like like they're just things that happen in life. It's just how we react to them.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, obviously hindsight 2020. When I got back, it was on me, and the realization of knowing that what, all these things that I'm like trying to check off in my list, like, oh well, the job sucks, and I'm gone all the time, and we have this kid who cries, and like all these things.
Yeah.
You get to the realization that it's like you have to own them. You just have to get ownership of you, right? And stop trying to control everything else, because you can't.
True.
And I think that was a huge game changer for us. It was realizing that I was lacking that, right? Where I would get mad. This is what I talk to a lot of folks. Like, I would get mad at a 1-year-old. Like, how mad could you logically be at a 1-year-old, dude?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what can they possibly do purposely that they should get heat from you about?
Yeah.
Really nothing, right? They're one. They're
1 years old. Yeah.
in a literal term, they're trying to figure out what this life looks like to them, right? But I think it happens to a lot of us where we start to see in the mirror that our kids are holding to us, we start to see the things we don't like about ourselves. The playbook we were given, right? Like, all of a sudden I raised my voice because of this little thing. And I was talking, we were talking before you hit record,
Yeah.
seeing your kid's face when that first time when you really like let yourself get mad. And that's important to note. Like, I'm not saying the first time they make you mad, because we say that a lot. It's the first time I let myself get mad. Right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden their face has like this fear, and you're like, oh man, that I was not. Right?
Yeah.
And so, man, like realizing that you need to own everything in your world, and as a father, you need to realize that your impact is way greater than you think. That's really when the weight of fatherhood hit me, and I think, and it's been a work in progress ever since, right? Realizing that I have a lot of things to work on. I saw this post, I can't remember who the guy was, cracked me up though. I won't even try to paraphrase it, but essentially he was saying, something to the tune of like, oh, you mean I have to figure out my stuff, make sure I still keep growing as a person, and figure out your stuff at the same time as a parent? Like, okay, like, and he's eating fries or something. It's hilarious, but it's really what it is all of a sudden the stuff that we don't take care of prior to having kids will inevitably show up.
Oh, 100%.
And the unfortunate thing that I've learned now, especially having a podcast where I get to do what you're doing, right? Like I get to talk to people and get the perspectives and their experiences. It's very evident that when we don't deal with those things, we will hand them off. Unless we're really, really conscious of them, we're gonna hand them off to them, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things I didn't like about myself that I don't want to hand off to them. And so,
Mm-hmm.
um, understanding that I own that was really key to kind of making that flip of starting the work. Like you got to start the work of you,
Yeah.
and be um, selfish, right?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
you have to be a little selfish so that you can be selfless for them, but like you got to
Yes.
figure out your own crap. And
Yes.
man, like I don't have to tell anybody with kids here. They hold a mirror to you. They may not physically do it, but bro, like they push every single button, and those buttons are just yours. They're not theirs. They don't even know where the damn button is. But they hit them. They hit every single button, dude. So
Yeah.
it's important to know that that's ours, not theirs.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's true, man. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you because now, you're not gone like you were before. I'm still in the military and stuff, but I was thinking about that too as you're figuring out, and you know, you will maybe overreact, right? Like you said, 1 year old, like she's 1 year old. Why am I getting upset? But in that moment, were you even allowed to lead? And when I mean by that, not by your wife, but yourself, because one, your job, right? And then you do come home. Again, wifey's been probably take care, or she has been take care of everything,
Yeah.
right? So you're coming back trying to insert yourself, right? But you don't really know, like, it's almost like where do I fit in,
Yeah.
right? Because I've been gone, so now I'm trying to come and show that I still have a strong,
Yeah.
I don't know the word for it, but you know what I'm saying? Like I have a strong whatever
Yeah.
fist on this, so I'm
Right.
trying to set the standard down. Like, was that hard for you too, where you had to kind of figure out like, okay, no, I need to be leading this way, or was it something where maybe yeah, you might have had that one moment, but you're like, no, okay, I got this.
I think it happens a lot to our military folks, right? They leave and then life keeps moving when you're gone, but when you come back, you feel like you're just kind of come back to what you left to. But life
Mm,
keeps on progressing. And
yeah.
dude, your kids, like my kid was a completely different child when I got back,
Mm,
physically and probably a little emotionally, right? Like
yeah.
different. They're older, and mom and her have been having this time to figure this thing out together. And so to come in and like throw the hammer down on something that my wife would be like, no, I told her yes on that. I'm like, oh, okay, okay. All right, take number two. Like, it's just, um, it's hard, man. It's
Yeah.
hard to do that. But I think the if we allow ourselves the humility to come back and, like for me, when I realized, I just go to my wife and like, just tell me where to go. And
Mm,
that's a fine line
yeah.
because we've talked about that even on my show. Like, you don't want to just come in and not be involved, right? Oh, just tell me where to be, tell me what to pay for. Like, I'm just a body. Like, it's
Yeah.
right. It's kind of like the provider mode, right? It's like, oh, well, I provide whatever I can, and then you take care of the rest. That's not what I'm saying. But there is some humility to be had to, just like anywhere else. I mean, you could be a former CEO of a company, and you come into a new company. You could come guns hot. You're gonna lose a lot of people. Maybe not physically, but
Yeah.
as far as their influence, excuse me, your influence to them, you're gonna lose them, right?
Yeah.
Or you can come in and be like, hey, I know how to CEO, but I don't know this. I'm just gonna learn. I'm gonna learn this.
Mm,
And I think that's the humility that fathers need. And Sean, I mean, it's a fine line, dude. Like we have to have humility. We have to have strength. We have to have emotional intelligence. We have right. So as fathers, we have all these things that we must work on. And I say these things constantly whenever I get on social media, whenever I get on my show. Like I'm not saying them from a pulpit because I'm like, dude, I just had an incident yesterday, like where I just lost my crap,
yeah.
right? and half the day was spent with like individual time to apologize for my reaction and my the way that I did this thing. It
Yeah.
just happened yesterday. So this is not, me talking. having a podcast and just like you, like doesn't mean I know what I'm doing. It literally means I'm trying to figure this out, and I'm talking to Sean to see if I can pick his brain to try some of his things out to make sure I'm showing up better every day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, we have a big responsibility, and yes, we have a big load to carry. Um, but if you can embrace that, like embrace it, dude. Like
Yeah.
just realize that it's there, and then figure out where your weak spots are and start working at them. And man, that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to find every weak spot I can and work each one here and there every single day, and hope that it makes a difference in the long run.
I like that, man. And so I want to ask you a question as far as, especially having three girls. I have, two girls. And so I guess, how do you protect them without being, it's a two-part question, I guess. But first one is like, how do you protect them without being overprotective? And then how do you teach them the standards how a man should treat them? And the reason why I ask that is because I know at times I can be overprotective, for sure, right? And I'm not perfect, but I definitely try my best to show them what the standards should look like.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you do when in today's day, um, toxic is almost cool in a sense, right? Toxic behavior either on social media or maybe people at school or whatever. So it's like it's like I mentioned earlier, like it's backwards in a sense, right? It's better to have a kid than to get married, right? In today's age, where it's like these the core values that used to be something that people really stood by has now shifted a lot, right? And so, especially like for me, my oldest, right? Like she doesn't necessarily want. She might ask me a question, but I know she really doesn't want my answer. Like she's gonna do what she wants to do because she's figuring out adulthood, right? And so it's one of those things where I had to understand, like, hey, I want to protect her, but I have to back off. And when she needs me, she'll hit me, right? She'll let me know, and just trust that the standards that I instilled in her will carry on, right? That doesn't mean she won't make mistakes. For my sons too, doesn't mean for none of our kids we install these values and different standards to go by. It doesn't mean they won't make mistakes, but hopefully be able to come back to. So with that being said, man, um, how do you, especially for your girls, because I can imagine if I had all girls, oh my gosh, I'm bad now with two. So, but how do you protect them without being overprotective, and then just how do you teach them the standard?
Man, that's a good question. I did the knuckle dragger thing up front, and it's no shade at anybody because I did it right. The first thought in my head when I knew I was having a daughter was buy more guns and secure my house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure, I have those. The more and more that they've taught me, the world teaches me, and just everything, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to figure out now how do I help them protect themselves,
Mm.
right? So physically, like we practice boxing, we do
Yeah.
my daughter did jiu-jitsu for a little while, and hopefully we get back into that. Um, but then protect themselves from crappy people. They're out there, right?
Yeah.
Manipulation and all these things. Dude, social media, like the clickbait, the rage bait, the all this BS that's
Yeah.
out in social media. So how do I do that? First and foremost, like my daughters don't have social media. They know that I have social media because we have a podcast and we do this thing. And so my oldest, I invite to see some of the things that I want her to see, right? Like not like that came out wrong. Not that I want her to see, but things come up in social media that I can talk to her about. This is what I'm saying, right? Like this is clickbait. See what it says right here. It's trying to get someone to get pissed off about something. Let's go into research. Let's research this thing. It's not exactly what they're saying. So like that's what I'm saying. It's like protect yourself from just information. I was listening to one of your episodes talking about allowing your kids to question, right?
Yeah.
You and I probably grew up in an area where it's like, you don't question your parents. Like, are you kidding me? Like, I remember questioning my mother and randomly getting like slapped upside the head, right? Like, no, 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 you don't do that. And I think there might be a spot for that. Again, I'm not throwing darts at anybody.
Yeah, yeah,
But I think it's important to allow and teach our kids to discern, right, and to figure out reasons. And so with my daughters, I do my best to say why I want them to do something, right? Chores, for example. When I was growing up, it's like you're doing chores. There's no questions about it. You're just doing it.
yeah.
For me, it's important to show them like, hey, there's chores. Well, I don't get paid for that. I'm like, yeah, you do. You live in this house. You have a roof over your head. You have warmth. You have cool. You have food, and so does everybody else. So this is a family unit. We're all doing the things that need to get done. That's it. We don't pay anybody for chores around here, right?
Yeah.
You want to add extra value to us, and you want to do random stuff around the house that you don't normally do. Okay, now we can talk about pay. No big deal. Because why? Because the world values that, right? You add value, you get paid for that.
True.
Now that's a practice. It's not always perfect, but figuring out how to teach them to protect themselves from all these different things, and then that goes hand in hand with your second question, which is, how do I show them? How do I show them? Well, I want to love their mother, and I want to do it in front of them all the time, like so that they can see what, God willing, what a man should be treating a woman like, right?
Yeah.
And it's a weird thing too, man, because I'm a parent and I lose my stuff, as I was mentioning sometimes, and I'm yelling. And there's times where I'll sit down, I'm like, oh man, if I saw some dude yelling at my kid like this, like I would be pissed, right? Like
Yeah.
if she had a boyfriend and I heard him yelling, like we would have some words, potentially other stuff, right? Like that would be a problem. But that's the example I'm showing. So being able to be introspective about that and realize, all right, screwed that up. Let's go over, bite my pride, and talk to my kid. Hey, listen, sorry for the way I did this. This is what I wanted to tell you. I did it in the wrong way. I lost my cool. And we talk a lot about emotions here because, Sean, like, emotions are a driver right now, right? Every headline is a way to get emotion. People get emotional. And so one of my biggest things for me, and I feel it strongly about teaching my daughters, is emotional control, because that alone will allow you to protect yourself. Because people who are easily drawn into heavy emotion are also easily manipulated. And so with my girls, I'm like, let's kill the emotion. And so when I make a mistake like that, when I lose my emotions, it's so important for me to go back and say, that was incorrect. That was on me. And again, ensuring that they know they don't have control over my emotions. No matter what they did, if I got upset, it's because of me, not because of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's mine. And that's the truth, right? You've had situations where you lost your stuff and realized, I probably could have handled that better.
Yeah.
And then other situations where you could have lost your stuff and you didn't. That's because it's on you.
Yeah.
And it has a lot of factors. I know, guys, like there's, how tired I am, how hungry I am. There's all these factors. I get that. But it's still our own responsibility. So for me, it's important to teach that to them because I think that's a really important way to protect themselves from manipulation, from, the current environment of social media, like all these different things. Hey, don't make decisions when you're emotional. Look at what you're seeing in front of you, find facts, then go off of that. Like, try to be as logical as possible. And Sean, dude, like, I know it's a bad stereotype, but that is not easy in a house full of girls.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, that's not.
When I say, hey, let's just be logical here, like, it's like everybody's hair goes on fire.
Yeah,
sometimes,
you might as well
right?
just test them out after that.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's not easy, and I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
My girls tend to be more emotional
Yes.
than me in a way, because for me it's like I'm not emotional until I'm freaking emotional. I'm like, all right, we're going. It's just it's going off, right? It's not the right thing to do, but I'm saying that's how it goes around in my house. Like,
Yeah.
they just tend to be a lot more emotional. My daughters can, one little look or one way I say things can just set them off. And then there's, Mother Nature has a certain time of
Yeah.
the month that comes around, and all of a sudden I can't say many things because if my voice even sounds like I'm not walking around with a smile,
Yeah.
brother, like it's all
It's all
hell
bad.
breaks loose. So
Yeah.
um, again, just learning that, right? And and
Yeah.
and and for me, in that time, is knowing like, all right, if they're gonna be emotional, let me try to be more rational. Let me not say it, but let me just be the calm. In you know how it goes: calm breeds calm, chaos breeds chaos. And so, if I could be the calm in the house, then it goes well. If I'm not, like the incident yesterday, I screwed up a bunch of things yesterday simply because that was just not me. And so I had to go back and own it, apologize, and then give them a plan to fix it. Right? It can't just be I'm sorry, move on. Like
Yeah.
there isn't. There's got to be, hey, I'm sorry this happened. This is what I'm gonna do to try to avoid that again. Right? And so now they see that, and I'm hoping that that's what I'm teaching them. I
Yeah.
do the same thing in front of them to their mom. If I did something that created some issues between me and my wife, like I will try to in front of them humble myself and apologize to their mother because I want them to see that
Yeah.
they know I'm human, but I want them to see that it's possible to be a respectful husband and father, no matter what the situation.
And I love that because they get to see, right? They get to see, like, okay, not only I get to see my father who I love and respect, but I also get to see a man, right? A man that is showing emotion, but this emotion that doesn't make him weak. You know what I mean? That's one of those things where you're modeling basically like a emotional safety in a sense, right? As far as like, oh shoot, okay, like it's okay if I don't know, my dad, I don't know if they ever seen you cry, but damn, my dad's crying because, like you said, it might not have been something they did or whatever, but you're like, man, I'm just crying because I'm so proud of you. Like, this is emotion because I'm just so proud of the work you put in, right?
Yeah.
Or I'm proud of the work your mom put in. So that's why you're seeing me this emotion right here. But, they definitely know that their dad's not soft. I already know that. But,
Yeah.
but so I think that's dope, though, bro, that you model that for them.
It's a work in progress, brother. They've constantly tell me they don't see me cry much, and they don't. I could probably count on one hand when they see me cry, and it's been those situations where it's more a happy cry or
Yeah.
a kind of an emotional moment with my daughters.
Yeah.
But as far as like pain, like they don't see me cry from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not right or wrong. I don't judge anybody for doing it. It's just
Yeah.
something that maybe I'm working through. But it is important for me to differentiate between them knowing that emotions are okay, right? Just like you're saying, but also them knowing when emotions um, are weakness, right? And not that emotions are weakness, but I've told them in the past when I lose my emotion or when my voice goes high, I'm like, listen, that's a weakness of mine.
Yeah.
When someone has to yell all the time to get what they want, that's a weakness, right? They
Yeah.
haven't worked on anything else. That's my personal view.
Yeah.
But I feel that in myself. Like when I have to raise my voice, I know that I missed like three other steps or three other things I could have done to control that situation.
Yeah.
And I have a loud voice, brother. So like it's an easy button.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? It's not okay. I'm just saying it's an easy button. I can
Yeah.
get people's attention in the house if I go to here, but it doesn't really give that much fruit, right? If I get the other things in, it's a lot better situation. So as much as it hurts sometimes, I like to bring that up to the girls. Like, hey, listen, that's one of my weaknesses that I'm working on, right?
Yeah.
I don't like to raise my voice. I don't like to have to use that as a tool. Like, I rather just talk sensibly to you and whatever.
Yeah.
And so again, it's a fine line, dude. Like, and emotions were not my strong suit growing up. I'm a boy, and take it or leave it. But that's how I was raised, right?
Yeah.
And so it's been a big learning curve having my daughters to to realize like, okay, I have to be more emotionally sound. Like I have to figure out how this emotional thing works a lot better than I have in the past, right?
Mm,
I mean, I was that little, punk growing up that if it got to the point that it needed, like I just lose my emotion, we start fighting. Like it's just
yeah.
it was what it was. Now there was no cameras either, so
Yeah, yeah,
that's
that's
why I'm
true.
still here. But um, but you see what I mean? Like there's certain things that we learned that maybe don't work in this context. And so with my daughters, no, I want them to be emotionally sound. I want them to be the calm in the chaos. I want them to be the person who can think through an emotional situation while everybody else loses their mind. Like that's what I want them to be, and so I have to model that. That's literally the only way to do it is I have to model it, and then when I don't model it, I have to let them know that I also know I didn't model it,
Mm,
and give them kind of that feedback forward. Like, all right, I think in the future, if this this starts to happen, I'm gonna do this. What do you think, right?
yeah.
And I've had conversations with even my 5-year-old, like, well, what I do is, and I'm like, okay, tell me what you do, right? And it helps. It helps us to kind of connect in that manner, and they realize I'm human, but I don't want them to see that side very much.
Mm, that's no, that's that. What the reason why it came to mind too is your daughters have taught you that you lacked emotional intelligence, right?
Big
And you
time.
needed to, which plenty of us, guilty as well, right? Plenty of us had to uh, almost relearn a lot of things
Oh
that
yeah.
we thought we knew,
Oh yeah.
and so that's dope though that they have helped you grow as well as you've helped them and inspired the podcast and things like that. And so
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, man, is what so because I know you have many fathers that probably hop on as a guest or you're talking on different subjects, right? What do you think if for every father that has a daughter,
Mm.
right, could just hear one message from you, like from your experience, from your conversations, from all the different things you might have dealt with, what would that one message you think would be?
Man, I'm sure this goes for all parents and all dads of boys and girls, but with girls particularly, and in my experience, as you mentioned, I had to allow myself to grow with them.
Mm,
And more importantly, I had to realize that I was behind the curve in that growth.
mm,
And so, what I would say is, if you have a kid now, it don't even matter how old they are. I mean, obviously, the younger the better because you got more time with them, right?
yeah.
But if you have a kid now, if you have a kid on the way, or if you're thinking of having children, that's what I would really say is understand that if you allow it, they're gonna change you,
Mm,
and if you allow it, they're gonna change you for the better. My in my wife's life has exponentially been fulfilled with our daughters, and it's something that I didn't ever had the foresight to see. So
mm,
when I found out we were having a child, it was just like, okay, another part of the equation. We'll just deal with it, and it's gonna be expensive, and blah. You just add
yeah.
all the things that are kind of stereotypical of a knuckle dragger dad. Like oh, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
But dude, like when I realized that, man, I'm a much better man because of them,
Mm,
and I feel like it's because I allowed myself to grow and to realize all the gaps that I had. I have to start figuring out how to fill them, and I'm still working on that. But it's just figuring out that I have gaps. I'm gonna let them teach me those gaps, uh, and then I'm gonna figure out how to fill them.
that's dope. That's dope, man. And so, as we get ready to close out, man, I want to ask you this one last question as well, and that's just for because especially in today's society, not all, but a lot is I don't know. I feel like it tries to get minimized as far as the type of I guess the fathers or the men, like I said, now it's like the thing to be the single mom and things like that, right?
Yeah.
But um, what would you say to? I guess the question is what do not daughters, yeah, specifically daughters, what do daughters need from their fathers that can only come from their father? I know that's a loaded question too. So
Man, I think the I think the calm and, dare I say, logical presence of a father. Um, and they need our time. I mean, time, like literal time, phone down, computer off, time.
Yeah.
Uh, the thing I would say is with that is that uh, it's easy for us to go into fixer mode, right? They start talking to you and you're already thinking like, oh, I got this. You got it fixed.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes, and my oldest is now very verbal about it. It's like, I just want you to stop. I just want you to listen. And it's crazy because you're like, yeah, but we could just fix this.
Yeah.
That's not what they want. So, um, actual just time, and 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 from a father learning how to be a father, I think it's letting them know that you are human, and showing them that you're in the growth process. That's the biggest thing. It's not saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go read this book. Like, show that you're in the growth process. Make a mistake, figure out how to fix it. Make a mistake, apologize for what you need to apologize for. Own the mistake, own the consequence to it, and let them see that. And I think, not that moms can't do that. I just think that we have a specific place and a specific position that, you know, that we need to accept and take on. And it comes with, some people call it the masculine or whatever. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll be the masculine entity in my house. I mean, I am. I'm the only dude in the house, so I'm cool with that, right? But then showing what the masculinity can actually be, and this whole toxic masculinity thing is BS to me. There's just toxic people, both feminine and masculine. I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
Uh, there's masculine traits that I want to show my daughters, and I'm okay with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so just I think us owning that and then being present to show that to our daughters is important.
That's dope, man. I love that, man. And so, well, before well, one, actually, no. Yeah, before we close out, let me, or tell the people where they can find you, listen to you, subscribe to your YouTube, all that stuff. I'm gonna put it as well, y'all, in the bio and all that, but go ahead and let them know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, man. Thanks. It's just daughterpodcast.com. So it's daughter, ed at the end because it's a verb.com. Excuse me, daughterpodcast.com. If you go on there, you'll find all the social media stuff. You find all the YouTube. It's pretty easy. If you're not going on the web and doing that, I'm at Daughter Podcast on Instagram, and then for me, my account is a_growing girl dad on Instagram as well. So easy to find. A group. I'm a part of a group of a bunch of dudes that are trying to work to be better, and hopefully we're putting out the right stuff for everybody to use. So.
That's dope, man. No, I love it, man. And so, before I always close out, man, I always like to give the fathers their flowers, bro. So, one, again, appreciate your time, man, because you didn't have to hop on. So, I just appreciate that. And then, I just love hearing your story as far as, understanding, hey, this is where I was slacking. And even being transparent is, hey, I was slacking yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And I had to recorrect that. So, I just look at it like, man, your daughters, your wife, all the women in your house are very blessed. Just like you're blessed to have them, they're blessed to have you, man, because you're setting
Thanks,
the
man.
standard, man,
Appreciate
for
you.
sure. And I look at it like whoever when a long time from now, I know a long time from now when your girls get married and stuff like that, I know they're gonna choose a man that has integrity and really, what I mean, is gonna embody what you have instilled in your girls, just because they're gonna know that's the standard. So that's dope, man. Salute to you, bro, for real.
Thanks, sir. I appreciate you very much. Thanks for having me on here. It's a blast.
Yeah, man.
I'm learning a lot from your show too. So keep doing what you're doing, man.
No, I appreciate it, man. And like always, guys, like always, you don't have to be perfect, but you always have to be present. See you guys on the next one.